PDF. Students will see the little drop down, they click it based on the nature of that file. They'll have several different options to choose how they want to engage with that content. So you can imagine instructors uploaded one of those dreaded scanned PDFs. You can see it's a pretty clean scan. It's not a terribly off-kiltered type of a scan. So it's a decent scan. The student can download through Ally what's called an OCR PDF. So Ally will extract the text from the document, clean up the font a little bit, allow that student to have hopefully a more editable, more usable piece of content. Of course, there is some dependency, right? Again, if this is a really bad scan, there's only so much that technology can do, but a decent looking scan, a decent scan, student can get that OCR PDF. Now the student wants to read that PDF on their phone. Not a great experience, the PDF on the phone, right? You're pinching, you're zooming, you're sliding around. It's a really distracting experience. It's not going to help that student much with their comprehension and their engagement. You can get an HTML format from Ally. It's going to be totally responsive to the phone, so you can, whatever screen size you're on, you can zoom in on it really close, have a nice clean reading experience. So thinking about those students, again, that low-income learner or student breaks his or her computer, right, the week before finals, they're in a pinch, they're using that phone. This is going to help them ensure that they can stay on task. One of my favorite formats is EPUB format. Right, so you can switch the contrast. You can go into the very trendy dark mode, which I've been telling people relieves eye strain, eye fatigue. Then I read a study that said, no, it doesn't. It increased the eye strain. So there's conflicting information out there, right? Apple's telling you it does one thing. Research tells you another thing. Again, I think it's about the student choosing, right? Maybe there are certain kinds of light where this is the most appropriate way to read it. So giving them the choice. You can switch up the font. So if you're a student with dyslexia and that original document has a serif font, in an EPUB, most e-readers, you can customize the font choice for that student. So you can magnify, you can kind of zoom in. It's got great note-taking tools, annotating tools. So engaging deep reading comprehension strategies. And again, the student, remember, they start off with a scanned PDF, couldn't do anything with it, right? Now they have a really interactive, dynamic format. We generate an electronic braille format. So everybody familiar with this device? I didn't know what this device was before I started working on Ally. So that's called a refreshable braille display. So Ally will generate what's called a BRF file. You can Bluetooth that from your device to this device here. And these cells are braille cells. So the braille pops up, you feel the braille, and then you kind of reset to the next line. And so line by line. It's a really cool piece of technology. When you see somebody at a conference using one and they're just reading a mile a minute on this braille display, it's really cool. And I'll talk about a student I met who uses it. We'll generate an MP3 of the content. So a student wants to listen to the content on the go, or if they want to combine it, as they're reading, you get the MP3. Ally will pick up what the language of the document is. So if it's an English language document, you hear it in English voice. If it's a Spanish language document, you hear it in a Spanish accent. So it can be really good for those second language learners. Either, they're taking a French course, they want to hear the pronunciation, or your English language learners who are struggling with the content. A lot of times we develop more of our kind of conversational skills faster than reading skills with another language, so it may definitely help them if they can hear that content.
Begin paragraph
text. We can listen to it later if you want to listen to it. I don't know, are you part of this pilot, Beeline Reader? So this is one we're piloting at Blackboard through Ally. It's something you can also look up on your own if you're interested in it. They provide lots of standalone kinds of tools, and so this Beeline Reader is an HTML format. And what it does is it provides different options for the different kinds of color gradients line by line. And so they've done some research that had helped students kind of who have line skipping issues really kind of focus. It also was originally designed for speed readers. So they found that speed readers were using this. It's also pretty interesting. I was learning about it, and now I'm blanking on the name of this particular kind of visual issue, but for some people, you would know from K-12 classroom, special ed, the glasses, the different tints. Do you remember what it's called? It's lens something, lensy. Anyway, so one of a reading intervention you see a lot in K-12, you can choose like these lenses that essentially transform the text into these different colored kind of lines and things like that. So I met a gentleman at Tacoma Community College just the other day, older gentleman who he didn't discover that he had this issue until he was in his doctorate program. And so black and white text for him becomes really bouncy. And he never knew his whole life why he struggled with reading so much. Now he puts on this pair of glasses that changes it to like a red-blue type of a thing. And it helps him focus. Were you Googling it?
Yeah, but I didn't come up with anything.
Can't find it either? I'll find it. It's lens, something like that. But anyway, so I think Beeline Reader kind of tries to draw on something similar by, again, moving from the black and white to provide some of these color choices. So this is just some of the formats that Ally makes available to students.